Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are reacting to the Critics' Choice Awards. Now, obviously, from when I'm uploading this, the Critics' Choice Awards were last night. I'm actually watching this. Forget every year that the Critics' Choice they do their show on like a delay, or they do it like at the same time Eastern. It's like 8 o'clock Eastern, then it's 8 o'clock Central, then it's 8 o'clock Mountain, then 8 o'clock. Like, I forget that they do that. So technically, the nominations have already been announced. I'm just very fortunate that I just haven't seen anything. I haven't seen any of the spoilers yet. I just, got home from work and was able to do a couple things after work and then get home and, I'm like, oh, right in time for the awards. And then I realized that technically, they're already over. So I'm again just very fortunate that I haven't seen any of the spoilers. So I'm really excited to just be reacting to these as blind as I am. And the other thing as well, I do know that the Critics' Choice they do movies and TV. Again, just I'm only going to be reacting to the film side. Not that I have anything against the TV shows. It's just haven't had the opportunity to haven't made time to see them really. So only going to be reacting to the film categories. All right, and it looks like we're starting off with Best Ensemble is the first category here. Forgive me, I did my predictions last night. I don't remember all of the nominees in every single category. It looks like we've got Saturday Night is who they're showing here, but Anora, Conclave, Amelia Perez. I believe they just had. I believe this is Sing Sing that they're showing now. So they're kind of going through the nominees. I did my predictions last night on the Awards Expert app. I forgot to take like screenshots or anything, so you'll just have to trust me. I went with for my prediction in this. I went with Conclave. I think Wicked was kind of like the big front runner. At least on the awards expert, that's what most people were predicting. But this, to me, always kind of felt like the Conclave category, the place that some of these precursors that maybe aren't going to award it in some areas. I mean, I guess Conclave is probably still the front runner in screenplay, but to me, this just feels like it's an ensemble winner, and the winner is Conclave. So yeah, I do think this is one where I think again it was kind of always going to just be ensemble. I guess I predicted it in its screenplay category as well, but yeah, I did. This is out of all of the categories for me, the Critics' Choice. I think typically they're one of the kind of the easier bodies to kind of predict. I think for the most part, and to me, I was kind of shocked at how many people were predicting Wicked because this really always just kind of felt like Conclave to me. All right, and then it looks like we're back with Best Animated Film. This is, I think, kind of the two-horse race between Flow and The Wild Robot. I think I've kind of moved Flow into my front runner in terms of the Oscar. Like I said in my, if you haven't seen my Best Animated film category breakdown that I did on my channel, I mentioned it in there that this reminds me so much last year of Spider-Verse and Boy and the Heron. So I'm kind of comparing Flow, I think, to Boy and the Heron, and then The Wild Robot to the Spider-Verse. So I think that Flow maybe has kind of taken over in terms of like best chance of winning at the Oscar, but I think I'm still going with The Wild Robot here at the Critics' Choice Awards. And the winner is The Wild Robot. So I think this. I mean, it just seems. I don't want to say it seemed predictable or it seemed easy, but I think that it just. I felt like it was necessary in terms for us to have a good competition once we get to the Oscar, because that's the whole point of this year has been that it's been so crazy and it's been such a wild and unpredictable year, and we don't know what's going to happen in all these categories. And if you need some of these, you need some categories to be split amongst the Golden Globes, the Critics' Choice, BAFTAs, like SAG. We need some variation here, and so I think that for me this is just one of the categories that was the easiest to kind of see how the Globes maybe kind of go out of their way and do Flow, but then the Critics' Choice kind of fall back on what was kind of the front runner. And what I mean, because I think for a lot of people, me included, The Wild Robot is their favorite animated film of the year, so it's the easiest one to kind of just fall back on as opposed to trying to do something like Flow. So I just think that that was the mindset maybe of where they were at in terms of making this nominating this category. So I think this is exciting because I do think that this puts us on the fast track to a very competitive animated film category. Okay, now it looks like it's Best Supporting Actress. This is, I think, always was kind of the toss-up. This category, in this category here at the Critics' Choice, between Zoe Saldana and Ariana Grande. This is kind of in a sense where you would need Ariana Grande to get a win in order to kind of stop it from being a Zoe Saldana sweep all the way through to the Oscar. Normally, I would say there is so much that's going to be discussed about, a potential, like if Zoe Saldana still wins here, maybe there's still some discussion that, is going to be had about whether or not that means that, she's going to sweep because of all of the Amelia Perez controversy that's going on. As a reminder, in case you didn't know, the voting for the Critics' Choice happened before all of that took place, and so if they go for, a Zoe Saldana here, it's because it was before all of the controversy and Carlos Sofia Gascon's tweets and Jacques Audiard's comments, and so I think maybe there's still a chance that Zoe Saldana is kind of affected by the negative press around Amelia Perez, but we're not going to see that reflected here. So looks like he's about to announce. So let's see what we've got. And it is Zoe Saldana. So this is, I mean, normally, like I was just saying, in any other normal year, the I mean, she still is definitely the front runner, and I do think that she is maybe the one that can kind of come away unscathed. I think in a lot of the Amelia Perez drama, so I do think that she still has a great case. It's just going to be interesting to see if maybe she just kind of is winning all these precursors, and then maybe if there is really something to the controversy surrounding the film, if it really does kind of bring her down with the ship. But for now, she is the clear front runner, and I'm going to just continue predicting her going forward. And now we're moving on to Best Supporting Actor. Now this is, I think, pretty clearly Kieran Culkin. I don't think he's the one that just feels like the most locked out of all of the acting categories, and I don't think the Critics' Choice would be the place to kind of disrupt that. It would be awesome to see like a complete surprise, like something like Clarence Macklin. They're currently showing his clip now. I just, other than him, I don't think anyone else really would have the passion to kind of dethrone Kieran Culkin as the front runner. So I'll be shocked if it's anyone other than Kieran Culkin. All right, and the Critics' Choice goes to Kieran Culkin. Yeah, so I mean that's, like I was saying, no surprise here. He is the most locked out of all the acting categories, and so I'll be just completely stunned. If Kieran Culkin doesn't just completely sweep all the way to the Oscars at this point. Oh, I have to rewind here. I forget that the Critics' Choice does this, where they announce categories like as they're going to break. So best comedy goes to Deadpool and Wolverine. I guess I didn't see what the rest of. Oh, or maybe they're still doing the nominees here. Oh, wait, hold up. Okay, let me. Sorry, let me rewind again. Was it a tie? Is that what that was saying? Sorry, I just, not only did I just kind of forgot that, because I don't think best comedy was something you could predict on the awards expert app, so I kind of forgot that was even a thing. Okay, now I've got this queued up. Let me actually pause and read this. So, best comedy: A Real Pain, Deadpool and Wolverine, Hitman, My Old Ass, Saturday Night Thelma. So I guess it looks like it was a tie between A Real Pain and Deadpool and Wolverine, which, that's interesting. So best cinematography. What did I go with? I think I went with Dune Part Two here, because this is one of those where I just felt like um, I felt like the Critics' Choice, they're going to be a little bit higher in Dune Part Two than the Oscars was. So I'm pretty sure I went with Dune Part Two as my prediction. I wonder, well, my runner up, I guess, would probably be The Brutalist. I think maybe would be kind of what I would put there. Nosferatu won. So Nosferatu, it is nominated for cinematography at the Oscars. So interesting. I wonder if that makes. I mean, the Critics' Choice. It's typically kind of one of the. It's not the BAFTAs, right? It's not like the next most important precursor. So sometimes they kind of do things like this, kind of the more fun pick. So that is probably all that is right now, but does mean I probably have to consider Nosferatu and cinematography a little bit more seriously. Best editing. I hate that the Critics' Choice does this, where they slam these as they're going to commercial break. So we've got Anora, Conclave, Dune Part 2, September 5, Brutalist, and Challengers. I'm pretty sure for best editing, I think this is another one. I think I went with Dune. I think this is one of the other categories. I was kind of, in these tech categories, I was giving Dune a lot of shout outs in my predictions. So I think I predicted Dune. Um, Because I mean, it was either Dune or Challengers as kind of like the fun thing, but I could still see it just kind of being the brutalist. And it's Challengers. This is insane. Like Challengers is going to rack up so many different like wins at all of these precursors and then just got nothing at the Oscars. It's a travesty. Best Young Actor Actress is the next one. So this is one where my pick 100% would have been Isaac Wong for Dee Dee, my favorite film of the year, and he was phenomenal in it. So that would have 100% been my pick. But I ended up actually predicting Maisie Stella for My Old Ass. There was something about her performance in that I just felt like she was very felt like a star, as opposed to I think Isaac Wong kind of like fit that character and fit that role. There was something about Maisie Stella that just in that performance felt like a potential breakout and could be, this big star. So that's where I went. Again, this is a category I think it's impossible to predict, except I guess I did. Maisie Stella ended up winning. And then now we have Best International Film, or I guess Foreign Language Film, as they have it here at the Critics' Choice. And I think this is pretty easily Emilia Perez. This is the one category that I think could have been maybe a little more exciting if voting had taken place after all the controversies with the film. But but yeah, I think that I think a lot of people are saying like I'm Still Here, would kind of be the runner up. But again, you do have to remember that voting for Critics' Choice was like almost a month ago, so I think it was a little bit before the I'm Still Here buzz kind of got going. So I think All We Imagine Is Light is the film that I think could maybe have some sort of shot at playing spoiler, but even then, if Flo had won animated, then I think that maybe Flo could have been in contention here, but alas, it wasn't. So, I mean, this is just going to be Emilia Perez. The winner is Emilia Perez. So, yeah, I mean, that was easy. That was chalk. This is, again, I do think we're at this point with Emilia Perez of we're kind of exiting once we leave here. I'm pretty sure voting hasn't it probably has begun, but I don't think it's finished for BAFTA. So it's going to be interesting when we turn to BAFTA. That's going to be our first little taste of how much are people kind of penalizing Emilia Perez for everything that's going on with the film. But again, with this, voting was happened way before, so we potentially just have these potentially awkward moments as they continue winning some of these awards. And now we're to the screenplays. It looks like it's Best Original Screenplay is the first one here. I think I have to remember. So, did I go with Honora? I didn't go with September 5. Um, I don't think I went with The Brutalist, but I didn't go with Real Pain. And then what's the last nominee is The Substance. So, and then Challengers, I forgot was here. So, I guess I probably did end up going with The Brutalist just because it was like or actually I might have gone Honora. Yeah, I think I probably went Honora ultimately because in terms of what I guess this is the first kind of letting you know kind of what I'm predicting going forward. I'm predicting Honora to start getting some of these awards coming up in the next little bit here, so I kind of had to make sure it was getting a couple on the way to, the big one. So I'm pretty sure I went with Honora here, but I wouldn't be shocked if it was The Brutalist. Let's see, and the winner is The Substance. Um, okay. I definitely don't think I had The Substance any higher than 3 in my predictions. It's like a Corley Farja going up to get okay. Whoa. This is the Critics' Choice are always so interesting because it's like you have to think of like how much are we weighing the results of the Critics' Choice, like how much does this, and it's hard to say like, oh, it doesn't mean anything, especially in a year like this where it's anything can happen, and so far anything is happening. So I do like that's crazy. I don't know where does that do I move up The Substance in like my in terms of how I think it's going to do at the Oscars? Because I probably because as much as I love it, it's my favorite film in the Oscars lineup this year. I don't, and I love the screenplay. I just didn't think that would be something it would be winning awards. But so I mean, in terms of this is one of like 3 categories where you kind of get an Honora v The Substance, and so far The Substance is up one. So we'll see what happens in actress. It seems like the Critics' Choice maybe they just liked the substance better than Honora. This is crazy. I'm like in real time trying to like wrap my brain around what this means for the Oscar in terms of this category. I just can't see the substance becoming a front runner, and especially over like the Brutalist at the Oscar. But for now, this is fun. And then we've got adapted screenplay. So nominees here: Amelia Perez and Conclave, I guess, are probably your two front runners, just based off of what has been, kind of doing well tonight. Sing Sing, Nickel Boys are great. It would be cool, I think, if they pulled through and won here. So far, Dune hasn't won anything, right? That's kind of shocking for the Critics' Choice. But this is one where I think it's pretty easily Conclave, unless we've got another spoiler. Conclave. Okay. So yeah. So now, in terms of, I guess, just recapping what we've got going so far, in terms of what's like leading us to picture, we've got the substance has screenplay. Conclave has the other screenplay plus ensemble. So at this point, I think Conclave is your front runner for picture. And then you got Amelia Perez has actress, supporting actress, and foreign language. So those are, I think, your kind of the three front runners at this point, because the Brutalist hasn't won anything, right? Am I mistaken? Am I not remembering? Like, did the Brutalist win? Like, it hasn't won anything. I guess technically, A Real Pain has two awards too, because it's already got Kieran Culkin, and then it got the best comedy, which probably doesn't really mean anything. But yeah, I mean, so far it seems like the Conclave maybe was the Critics' Choice is favorite, which is cool with me. I think, as much as I love the substance, I don't think that really has a shot at the Oscar. Conclave is probably my favorite of like the ones that actually has a shot at winning Best Picture. So I'm really happy that it's kind of sweeping up here and getting a lot of these awards. I had a pause here. It looks like they're doing another thing as we're going to commercial, where they're going to start spamming us with a bunch of the craft awards. So here we've got Best Production Design. This I went with Wicked. That was my prediction. Pretty comfortable in that. I guess this is where we see how strong Conclave is. But yeah, I did go with Wicked, and it looks like Wicked won. And then let's see the next one. We've got costume design. Let me get this paused. And this is another one I went with Wicked. So this is where we're going back to back Wicked predictions. Yeah, I don't see, again, Conclave if it's that dominant. Maybe Nosferatu, because they did like Nosferatu, and this is the one shot, I guess, one of the last shots for them to award Dune, which I thought was something the Critics' Choice would do. So maybe that happens. But I went with Wicked. I'm still going Wicked, and it's Wicked. So cool. Let's see. Do we have another category after this? Okay, best hair and makeup. This is the substance all the way, right? There's nothing else that's going to compete. The substance. So now the substance has screenplay and makeup, so it's got two wins here. Visual effects. Okay, this is Dune. This has to be Dune, right? I'm speaking it into existence. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes would be cool. We'll see if they just love the substance. But yeah, they've got to give Dune one award here. Yep, and here it is, visual effects Dune. So, okay, do we have any more crafts? Have we kind of gone through all of them with these two commercial breaks? Best score, so there's one more. So Dune is nominated here. I said earlier in this video that I think I said I predicted Challengers. I think I actually predicted Dune. But I mean, it's a real toss-up between those two. I don't know which one you would go with. If they go, I'll say if they do go with Challengers, though, I'll have to pause the video and they went with Challengers. Okay. So Challengers has won the two precursors so far. It's won the Golden Globe. It's won the Critics' Choice. It didn't get nominated at the Oscars. So at this point, I can't remember if Challengers was nominated at BAFTA. It probably wasn't. But if it was, I am absolutely rooting for it to win there, because I want Challengers to just win every single precursor, and then it's just absent at the Oscar ceremony. So this is now two awards now, score and editing for Challengers. It's insane that I said it earlier, it's a travesty. It's so disgusting that Challengers just didn't get anything at the Oscars. But and it looks like we've got Best Original Song is the next category that we've got here, which this seems a little weird that all of those craft categories are just banished to the as we're going to commercial break, but Best Song gets presented on the main. Interesting. I think this is El Mal. Although at this point, compress repress from challengers is very tempting. I'm still going to go with El Mal. I think that's what I'm predicting, just because it's the perceived front runner, and Amelia Perez has been doing well tonight as well. So just because challengers has been doing so good, my personal favorite in the category probably is Harper and Will Go West. So that's or Kiss the Sky from the Wild Robot. I loved that as well. Those would be my what I'm rooting for, but I think ultimately it's El Mal, and I think we're just gonna kind of have potentially a predictable category, and it is El Mal from Amelia Perez. So, it's interesting now that I'm kind of piecing this together for the first. And again, this is voting was pre-controversy. I've said it 10 times in this video. I'm probably gonna say it a couple more times as Amelia Perez keeps winning these awards. But it does seem interesting that I think the two categories that it's the safest in, even moving forward to the Oscars, despite the controversies, is song and supporting actress, which is Zoe Saldana's performance and Zoe Saldana's performance in El Mal for the song. So it's interesting that it's of all the things that are kind of happening with Amelia Perez right now, and we're thinking that it's gonna, be affected in all these different categories. It seems like it's the Zoe Saldana factor that's gonna potentially save it in at least these two categories. All right, and then we've got Best Director, which this is the Brady Corbet category, even with the fact that with the Brutalist hasn't really shown up anywhere. I don't think it's going to matter here. Brady Corbet is kind of the front runner. I think he's the one that's just going to steamroll all the way through. I can't imagine who would be. I guess maybe at this point Carly Farge is second place, or maybe Ramel Ross, or because it's not Denis Villeneuve, because it's not going to be Dune. It seems it's weird because it's Brady Corbet for The Brutalist, and then it's Sean Baker for Nora are kind of the two clear frontrunners, I would say. And they're the two films that haven't gotten anything yet, so kind of interesting. But again, like I said, I don't think it's going to matter in Best Director. I think Brady Corbet essentially has this locked up, and the award is John M. Chu. Sorry, I'm. Okay, let me pause this or mute it. What? I don't what. I don't even know where to like. Where am I starting? What am I? What are my thoughts? How am I? Was he nominated anywhere else? Did he get like? Was he nominated at the Globes? It's crazy how long this award season's already been. I can't remember the Globes nominations. I'm stunned. Like I was just reading through all those nominees. I just blew past John M. Chu. Like I almost like didn't even register that he was nominated. So I just like as soon as they said his name like that, I can't remember the last time I've been in like that amount of shock after a winner before in any. Yeah, I literally watched. I'm sitting here with that on mute, but I'm watching all of the nominees popping up. I think I just didn't even like it. Just did not register that he was nominated in this category because yeah, I thought it was Denis Villeneuve, Sean Baker, Brady Corbet, Corley Farge, um, and I guess. Oh wait, no. Is Critics' Choice the one that? Yeah, Critics' Choice is yeah. Never mind. Critics' Choice is where they had like 8 people nominated, right? And I just clearly wasn't even paying attention during all that. Okay, so now that we're over the shock that John M. Chu won, let me actually try and like digest that. Wicked hadn't won anything, right? And then all of a sudden now it's won 3 of like the last like 4 or so that have been announced: production design, costume design, and this. How did Ariana Grande not beat Zoe Saldana at this point if the Critics' Choice loved Wicked this much? Or are they just saying that they loved John M. Chu, like they loved the direction of Wicked this much? Because I literally said this in a couple of my which video was it? Was it my production design video that I just uploaded my category breakdown for Wicked? I was talking about it and I mentioned that Like the direction and the cinematography are, I think, the two things that a lot of people have been kind of like attacking the most about this film. And then the Critics' Choice give it his. So the Critics' Choice, it isn't just like every single state critic body. Like it's not that they're not the same people, but it's like if you just think of all of like the state's critics groups that have voted, is John M. Chu, is he getting any wins? Like, is this? I'm sorry. Like, I don't want this to come like, and I'm like that. I'm like, I know I probably look mad. Like, I just kind of because it's just my stunned like shock response. I'm not mad necessarily. I'm so confused, and I'm so that didn't register as an option. How did that how did that happen? Was it, is it something that like, okay, so clearly the Critics' Choice does not like Anora and they don't like The Brutalist. They're just not giving those two films any wins. So it's like clearly they didn't like them. And so I guess if they're not giving them wins in any other category, maybe they don't like them here. And so then maybe the only thing I can think of is if they had 8 directors, everyone, the votes were just so split, like amongst everyone so evenly that John M. Chu just happened to be the one that like barely kind of eked out a little bit ahead. That is insane. I don't know if he's nominated anywhere else. I don't know. He clearly is not nominated at the Oscars, so it doesn't matter. But it's like the Critics' Choice has just kind of been going crazy. I think in a couple of these categories tonight. That is, I have no word. Like I don't even know how to process this. I think I'm just gonna stare forward in silence for the next 30 minutes or 30 seconds again. Like I okay, I'm trying to move. I'm trying to move past Best Director. We've got Best Actress here. I predicted Mikey Madison because I predicted Honora to win Picture here, and so I thought that in order for Honora to win Picture, it has to kind of start getting a couple of these categories along the way. So, full transparency, I did before the ceremony or last night when I made my predictions, I did predict Mikey Madison. Gut feeling right now, I'm switching it to Demi Moore because clearly they just didn't care for Honora. So, and the winner is Demi Moore. Um, okay, so now how do we process this? So, Honora is dead. It's not winning anything. And then Demi Moore, I think, is clearly our front runner for actress now. Globes and Critics' Choice going with Demi Moore, I think, is just a very strong. I guess that's not necessarily the best one to come, but like if she wins here and there, I guess really it's for actors. I would say SAG and BAFTA are probably the two that I care more about. Um, but at this point, it's hard to not think that Demi Moore has the best chance out of everyone, kind of moving forward in a lot of these other categories. Um, Mikey Madison, I feel like she won. She was winning a lot of kind of the critics groups and these smaller states bodies that were giving out awards, like kind of leading up to this, and so I think that's what we were all just so confident in her as the front runner. But it just kind of seems like that's just not materializing. It's not becoming the Mikey Madison. So I think once we get to the Oscars, I think I'm getting pretty comfortable just kind of putting Demi Moore one. I think I'm putting Fernanda Torres too, and then I think it's Mikey Madison until she wins something. She's kind of just going to keep kind of falling down, less and less likely of winning because this is, I think, where she was supposed to win. So the fact that they still went with Demi Moore is crazy. And now this is, what does this mean for Picture? Because I guess it's probably Wicked actually, right? Wicked is gonna. I was just saying that the Honora was my predicted winner, and then so Honora and Brutalist were like the two kind of front runners. I don't think it's them. Conclave, I think, has a shot. I think The Substance, and I think Wicked. I think those are your three that you're kind of looking at here. So this is just this is fun. This is a fun Critics' Choice, and for an Oscars season that is as crazy as this, I love that the Critics' Choice are doing this, just giving us some insane moments and just crazy winners, and none of this really makes sense, but this is exciting. Right, and then we've got Best Actor, which I think at this point, if my math is right, I think is our second to last award. This is the Adrian Brody versus Timothy Chalamet. A Complete Unknown hasn't won anything else, has it either? Although I think A Complete Unknown I don't think is nominated in as many categories here as it is in future precursors because I don't think it had quite caught on yet. I forgot Hugh Grant was nominated. Um, so okay, let me pause before Michelle Yeoh says our winner here. I think I'm going. I predicted Brody. I think I'm still sticking with Brody. But this would be the Brutalist's first win, right? Is this enough for just winning Brody? Is that enough to get it into picture? I don't I don't know. But anyway, so let's see who wins here because I think I'm going with Brody. I could still see Timothy Chalamet. At this point, I could probably see Hugh Grant. I don't know what I expect anymore. Okay, looks like it was Adrian Brody. My laptop, it's a little weird. I'll pause it, and then when I unpause it, it jumps forward like 10 seconds. I didn't hear it, but Adrian Brody is standing up. Um, so yeah, that is yeah. So that's the first win for Conclave, or excuse me, the first win for the Brutalist, right? Unless I'm just completely because the way that they cram those craft categories as they're going to commercial break, it's making me feel like I'm forgetting something, but I don't think I am. I think that's the first win for the Brutalist. So I mean, let's look at it that like let's break it up. Now we have our four acting winners here. So the acting winners are Brody, Moore, Saldana, and Culkin. So the acting awards went with like the four kind of Oscar frontrunners. So it seems like on one hand it feels like it is the old Critics' Choice of just trying to predict the Oscars, like they're not doing their own thing, and then all of a sudden in every other category they're doing their own thing, substance and screenplay. Um, John M. Chu in in director. You got like the challengers winning multiple awards here. Like this crazy. Yeah, it seems like they're kind of doing their own thing, but okay. I mean, but at least in the acting categories, they are kind of conforming, and they're kind of I think giving us a good clear indication of what we should be predicting moving forward. But it does kind of make me a little nervous because this doesn't feel like the year that you're going to get four sweepers, right? This isn't 2020 when you had, Brad Pitt and Renee Zellweger and Joaquin Phoenix and who would have been best supporting actress that year? Laura Dern. I don't think this is that year where you're just going to have four straight sweepers. So something's got to change here. But at least for now, Globes and Critics' Choice, they're kind of at least just showing you the path. They're showing you what the current frontrunners are and letting you know that there is a possibility that in an Oscar season so unpredictable, we could have a pretty predictable acting quartet. All right, and here we are, the final award, Best Picture. Now, before we start going to the nominees, okay, yeah, let me pause this before we get into the nominees because I need to really sit here and think because I predicted Honora. Honora hasn't won anything yet, so like it's not going to happen. We've got the Brutalist that just won for Brody, and I think that's its one and only award tonight. Um, so what else do we got? We've got The Substance has Demi Moore. It has screenplay. It has makeup. So it's got three awards. You got Wicked that has costume design, production design, director. You've got Conclave that has screenplay, ensemble. Amelia Perez has international and song and Saldana. A Real Pain has is A Real Pain nominated? I guess I forget what's actually nominated, but if A Real Pain is, it at least has supporting actor and it has comedy. Like it at least has two categories. I don't think Challengers was nominated, but Challengers has a couple awards. So I genuinely don't know. I think I was kind of leaning Conclave. I think was my front runner, but that John M. Chu, I just can't shake that. I think Wicked is winning picture. I can't shake John M. Chu winning director. I think we're in for some craziness. I think it's going to be Wicked. Are you kidding me? Okay, okay, here we go. the um okay, just to kind of take the peel back the curtain a little bit of what just happened here, because again, like I said, the the Critics' Choice Award is always on like a taped a delay, so it's like I'm watching it so much later than like the winners have already been announced so much earlier, and so I'm watching just the replay on E, and so I'm watching it through Fubo, and so they had it kind of blocked off for the block for what happened, and so I'm because again because I've been pausing, I was a little bit behind, so it got to the end of the whatever 10 o'clock, whatever time it is here now, because it's almost 11 at this point. But it got to the end of that block, and it just cut to like the rerun of Overboard, is what it says. The movie Overboard, the Goldie Hawn movie. So it just cut from because I hit the end of that hour. It just kicked me into Overboard, and it kicked me a couple minutes in. So I thought that it was just I wasn't gonna be able to react to picture, but I'm able to rewind it. So I rewound back to the beginning. So I'm now technically watching Overboard, is what it says. But it looks like the very beginning of this we do still have picture. That gave me a heart attack for a second, thinking how much there's just nothing else that could have crazy thing that could have happened to this Critics' Choice reaction video in order for this. But okay, so here we go. Best Picture. Let's see. So again, he's about to announce it, but I'm switching from Anora to Wicked. Is my official prediction. What? Okay, Sacha Baron Cohen. What are you? What did he just? So he tried making a joke saying, "Okay, okay, I'm exhausted. I don't have the energy. It's been a long day, and I don't have the energy to try and understand what I'm watching right now." And it didn't help that Sacha Baron Cohen was trying to make some joke with Adrian Brody there. Um, okay, so Honora, just one picture. Am I? I have to be missing something. It wants something else, right? It didn't get Madison. It didn't get Borisov. Didn't get a screenplay. Didn't get editing. Didn't get. What else was Honora nominated? It had. Does this happen at the Critics' Choice? Again, I'm newer to this whole. I mean, but it's been like 5, 6 years of being into the precursors as well as the Oscars. So I feel like I would have noticed these type of things before if something had ever won Best Picture without winning a single other. This is starting to feel like. So yeah, let's look at it that way. Let me break it this way. So if we just talk about like the top 8 awards, right? Your acting, your directing, your picture, your screenplays. So picture Honora, directing Wicked, acting or actor Brutalist, actress Substance, supporting actress Amelia Perez, supporting actor A Real Pain, screenplay Conclave, screenplay Substance. So of the top 8 awards, the Substance is the only one that won two. So I almost wonder. This almost feels like is there like collusion or something going on with the voting where they intentionally just spread that out to make sure everything got like one of like the big contenders, everything got at least one above the line thing, and then I guess Dune Part Two is kind of the only other like top 8 contender that didn't get one of the top awards, but it got visual effects and it won 2 awards, didn't it, or did it just win visual effects? I think it just won visual effects. Um, so yeah, because it won visual effects, so that means okay, so Nora did get picture. So does that mean like a complete unknown is our only big like contender at the Oscars that didn't get anything? I think is the way I'm kind of looking at it now. And I guess obviously I'm still here, but that was a thing that was pretty obvious because the film hadn't quite caught on by the time the Critics' Choice had announced their nominations. So yeah, I think that's just the message that I'm coming away with this Critics' Choice Awards is they just intentionally they just spread the wealth all around. They just evened it out for everyone. Everyone gets at least one award, and that was what they did. I am so confused and not in the mood to watch Overboard right now. This is crazy. That is the craziest awards show I think I've seen in a while. Like, in terms of just so unpredictable and so inconsistent with what it feels like they should have been doing or what they would be doing. Like, and even as the night was going on, it felt like they were establishing certain things and then going away from them, because instead of like anything building momentum, it was just everything got one big award. You got an award here, you got an award here. Everyone got to go up and get one speech and deliver one thing, representing their film, and that was it. That is crazy. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm sorry this was probably the most hectic and just most crazy reaction. Like, I was all over the place. I'm still not processing everything correctly. I'm really gonna have to come back and just think about, like, how much am I gonna let this affect what I'm predicting and what I'm thinking is happening going forward at the Oscars. I think ultimately, because of how crazy this was and how evenly spread everything was, I think I'm not gonna really weigh the Critics' Choice too much moving forward, but I guess we'll see. Regardless of what it means for anything moving forward, what I can say is, I guess, just thank you to the Critics' Choice for just having such an insane award ceremony. That was so unpredictable. That was just wild. I was confused the entire time, and I loved it. So thank you so much for watching the video. If you'd like to like the video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it, and have a great day.